Hey guys, welcome to the exact trig value refresher. What I encourage you to do as you watch this lesson is to have right beside you your notebook so you can take notes as you go through the lesson. You can do some of the exercises with me as well. All right, let's get started. We're going to refresh on how to find exact trig value using the unit circle. And the big thing with this is that we're answering the essential question, how do we find exact trig values without a calculator? So if you're going through this and you're plugging it in your calculator, you are not doing this correctly. We want to be using the unit circle. A lot of you just took the unit circle game quiz and you did amazing. So I know most of you know the unit circle. Before we begin, we are going to just go over some things about the unit circle again and just refresh on it because we had a long spring break. All right, the first thing we want to ask ourselves is, what is x on the unit circle? Remember, every x value, when we look at the terminal points, is going to be the cosine for that angle. So x on the unit circle is our cosine at theta. What is y on the unit circle? Well, y would then be the sine of theta. So if we look at every y terminal point, that's going to be the sine value for that angle. Y over x, if we take the y and divide it by the x, that is going to give us the tangent at theta. Okay, so that's our tangent. All right. And let's remember, all students take calculus. Remember, this told you what's positive. Okay, so this told us exactly what was positive. So if we're talking about all, we put that in quadrant 1. That's telling us all of the trig values are positive: sine, cosine, and tangent. If we talk about students, that went in quadrant 2, and that told us that only the sine was positive, which makes sense because if we look here, right, sine being the y, when we're in quadrant 2, only the y is positive. In quadrant 3, take tangent was the only thing that was positive, which makes sense because our x and our y are both negative. Two negatives makes a positive, right? Because tangent, we take the y divided by the x. And if we're in quadrant 4, calculus meant only the cosine was positive. In quadrant 4, we are on the positive side of the x-axis, which makes sense that cosine would be positive because cosine is x. So, hey, we know what's positive when, and we know that x is the cosine, y is the sine, y divided by x is the tangent. We use that to find exact trig values. So, let's do just that. And I got a warm up for you. There we go. So I got a warm up for you. And it is here. And what we're going to do is we'll just go through. I got the unit circle beside me so you can see what to do. But what I want to encourage you to do before we even start is, if you know how to do this already, pause the video and go ahead and copy the values and find the sine, cosine, and tangent using the unit circle, and then play the video and check your work. All right, here we go. Assuming you went through this already, let's go through and find these values. So I'm going to find the sine of pi over 6. So what I'm going to do is I will go to pi over 6 on the unit circle. Look at the terminal point. I remember sine is the y value, so I know that the sine of pi over 6 is equal to 1/2, or the y value. The next one, I'm going to find the sine of pi over 4. Well, sine of pi over 4, remember sine is the y, so I go to pi over 4 on the unit circle. I look for the y value for its terminal point, which is radical 2 over 2. And so I know that the sine of pi over 4 is radical 2 over 2. And this is all refreshing to you. You guys know this. This is just a refresher. Okay, we're going to find the sine of pi over 3. I go to pi over 3 on the unit circle. I find the y part of its terminal point. So I know that that is radical 3 over 2. So I know the sine of pi over 3 is radical 3 over 2. Now remember, we know this by memory, right? We want to know at least minimum quadrant 1 by heart. All right, let's go back through and let's find the cosines. I'm going to skip these two angles here because I want to make a point. And I want to make the point later, not now. So let's go through. Let's find the cosine of these three angles. Well, the cosine of these three angles are going to be the x coordinate. So if I'm talking about finding the cosine of pi over 6, I am looking for the x part now. All right, so I'm looking for the x. I'll change my color. So I'm going to go to pi over 6. I look at its x part of the terminal point, and I know that, hey, the cosine of pi over 6 is radical 3 over 2. Cosine of pi over 4. Let's see. I am going to go to pi over 4 on the unit circle, which is right here. I know cosine is the x. So I know that the cosine of pi over 4 has to be radical 2 over 2. And the cosine of pi over 3. So I go to pi over 3 on the unit circle. I look at the x, and I know that that is 1/2. So the cosine of pi over 3 has to be 1/2. All right. Sine is the y, cosine is the x. Now remember, tangent is going to be the y divided by the x. So all I'm going to do, I have the y and the x. I got the sine and the cosine. If I'm trying to find the tangent of pi over 6, I just need to take its sine, which is 1/2, and I need to divide it by its cosine, which is radical 3 over 2. And guys, you know that this is the keep change flip, right? So this radical 3 over 2 would flip to a 2 over radical 3. So we'd be multiplying 1/2 times 2 over radical 3, which would give us a 1 over radical 3, right? Let's look at this next one. If I'm finding the tangent of pi over 4, same thing. I am going to take the y, or radical 2 over 2, divided by the x, which is radical 2 over 2. And guess what? That is just a 1. All right, the next one, I am finding the tangent of pi over 3. Same thing, guys. I'm going to take the y. This time it's radical 3 over 2. And I'm going to divide it by the x, which is 1/2. Remember, keep, change, flip. So this is saying radical 3 over 2 times a 2. Those 2's would cancel. We would just have a radical 3. So the tangent of pi over 3 is radical 3. All right, guys. We're going to move along, and I just want to look at angles in quadrant 2 because some interesting things happen here. Let's pay attention to the sine, cosine, and tangent values for the angles in quadrant 1. We're going to compare this to quadrant 2. So if I find the sine of 2 pi over 3, right? Remember the sine of 2 pi over 3 is just the y coordinate at 2 pi over 3. Here's 2 pi over 3. The y coordinate is radical 3 over 2. If I find the cosine of 2 pi over 3, again, here's 2 pi over 3. If I'm looking at cosine, I want to get the x, right? Let me change my color. The x is negative 1/2. And right here, I want you to just take a second. You can pause the video and compare 2 pi over 3 sine and cosine to pi over 3's sine and cosine. What do you notice? And if you're thinking they are exactly the same values, you are correct. Except what do we notice that the cosine is negative. And it makes sense because we said, hey, the only thing that's positive in quadrant 2 is sine. So it would make sense that the sine is positive, but the cosine is negative. Can you take a guess at what the tangent of 2 pi over 3 is going to be? Well, you're right. It's going to match the tangent of pi over 3, except in quadrant 2, we know tangent is negative. So instead of radical 3, it's going to be a negative radical 3. So if that is the case for 2 pi over 3, what will we do for 3 pi over 4? Well, we're just going to take the same sine, cosine, and tangent values of pi over 4, except we're going to just change the sine, cosine, and tangent values based on what, if they're positive or negative in quadrant 2. Notice 3 pi over 4 is in quadrant 2. So I know that the sine of 3 pi over 4 is going to be the same as the sine of pi over 4. It's going to be radical 2 over 2. And the cosine of 3 pi over 4 is going to be the same as pi over 4. It's going to be radical 2 over 2, except because 3 pi over 4 is in quadrant 2, we know its cosine value has to be negative. And the tangent of 3 pi over 4 is going to be the same as pi over 4, except because it's in quadrant 2, it has to be negative. So instead of 1 up here, it's going to be a negative 1. All right, guys, so let's talk about the big idea.